Yes, people, what's happening, man? Welcome back to United View. Welcome back to another morning view. And I tell you what, yes, we're leading up to the derby, etc., etc. Football's back. But this morning, we have to talk about 5 players who must leave Manchester United. Is 5 even enough?
It's
Should
difficult.
We have put that to 10 players who must leave Man United? But we wanted to keep it sort of, because we know, listen, there's loads of you that will say, listen, the whole bloody team, get rid of them all. But the 5 realistic ones, there's different ways we can do this. But we wanted to do this because, listen, sometimes the news is a bit dry. It's all about our opinions, man. Shout out to Joe Blackman. He's straight in there. Here we go. Big show last night as well, bro. If you didn't see the full view last night, make sure you check it out. It was a stacked show. Kenny, Kenny, Bradley, yourself, Owen, me, Firm, Steph, and Joe Blackman. It was a wicked show. Make sure you guys check that out as well. And as always, I'm going to get on to you straight off from the bat. The likes. Let's smash the like. Let's get the first 50 through the door already. Let's get the first 100. Let's get the first 100 likes through the door already. You guys did 50 before we even went live, which is top as well. So big up to you. Also, there was a little piece in The Athletic regarding Scott McTominay, which actually was weirdly more about what we were discussing last night about how United failed the youth, etc., etc. And he was talking about his whole sort of misprofiling journey at Man United, talking about exactly where he doesn't play, but was very good about how he explained it. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. And of course, the lead into the Manchester derby as well as we build up to that and anything else that happens whilst we're live. But the main crux of it is this. I want to hear from you guys. We want to hear from you guys. Get your comments in, get your super chats in, get your members chats in, wherever you want. Get them in and let us know how you're feeling about this, because these priorities do change for different people, to be fair.
They do.
It depends how realistic you want to be about this. If we be 100% realistic about budgets and don't know if we're going to get Champions League and contracts, or you could be on this side, which is, I don't care. Eventually, all of this needs to go with it. So however you want to do it, there's no rules. Let's get straight into it. 5 players who must leave.
Yeah, I think for myself, what I'm going to do, because there are players that we know are leaving this summer, like guaranteed they're leaving. So Christian Eriksen, guaranteed his contract's expiring. Victor Lindelof, guaranteed his contract is expiring. Johnny Evans' contract expiring. He's going to retire. I think Tom Heaton's in that category as well. Yeah. So I'm going to put those to one side. And say, right, well, they're definitely leaving. So then the title is they must leave. But they are leaving. So that's already happening. So I'm not going to include them. I'm going to include players that aren't guaranteed to leave. They've got time still left on their contracts and reasons why they must leave. I think that.
We'll discuss each one. Before we move on, we'll discuss each one. Okay,
that's going to be my criteria. So, player number one.
Player number one.
I'll go with an obvious one, just to ease into it. An obvious one will be Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford in the summer must leave for a few different reasons. First of all, we need the money. The money. Marcus Rashford is a homegrown talent. He represents pure profit because he's come through the academy. And as we've seen, if we sell him for, I know Aston Villa, he's currently on loan at Aston Villa. He's got the £40 million buy option there that Villa could utilize. If it was that, because he's homegrown, because it's instant pure profit, that could represent itself of possibly over £100 million that Manchester United could spend because of selling Marcus Rashford. Plus, he's one of the highest paid players at the club, so you get him off the wage bill. And then on top of that, we know there's a disconnect between him and the Manchester United head coach, Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim doesn't rate him, or he doesn't like his attitude, his commitment, his work ethic, his work rate. Where does he fit into the team? On top of that, and also it just feels like it's come to a natural conclusion, doesn't it? Marcus Rashford, who I defended last night on the full view, pushed back to what Joe Blackman was saying, that he hasn't had a good Manchester United career. I think that you would hold Marcus Rashford's career up to any Manchester United academy player. They're going to have a bit of that.
Yeah,
you
did defend him. I think that was right.
Couple of FA Cups, Carabao Cup, Europa League, with the 15th highest goal scorer in Manchester United.
Yeah, when you're a kid in the academy, when you're 8 or 10, someone says to you, tell you what, if you leave Man United at like mid-20s or just past that, and you're in the 10. Is he in the top 10 or top 15?
15. He was the 15th, I think.
15 scorers of all time. You'd have won a few trophies. You'd have played over 300 games for us, or 400. I don't know how many he's played. Has he played over 400 games?
He's played a lot. He's played a lot of games for Manchester
United. 426 games he's played for Man United.
Right.
138 goals. You know, if someone said as a kid, you could, as a boyhood club, you could achieve that.
Yeah,
I'd say you'd be happy with that. Of course, you could talk about how did he reach his potential? Did he go to what we thought he was going to be? Did he win the big trophies at Man? You can say no to all of those things, but you can't say he's had a crap United career. I wouldn't. No,
and then again, like I said last night, those are separate conversations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
About reaching potential versus what you have done. They're separate conversations, but it had a good career at Manchester United.
Joe says meh.
But to this list, it's come to an end, and unless something would happen to Ruben, which I don't think it will, I think he's he's a name on that list that I would say must leave Manchester United. That's my number one. Well, not in terms of ranking. That's the first name I'm putting out there.
Yeah, I have to just second that because he's on my list as well. So I don't think there's a world where he could probably not be on your list. Obviously, there's different people. Some people are looking at Rashford and saying, "Stupid Ruben, stupid United. Look at us. Look at our dead forwards."
Last night, didn't he?
Scored last night. Goal, proper Rashy goal. That one on the counter, loads of space, ball over the top, ball in, ball over, and good finish. And he's out. Listen, it's you don't get sucked in of like he was celebrating in front of the Villa fans. I saw the limbs behind the goal. I am in that thing of now you're seeing him do all right. He's scoring goals. All it doesn't make me think bring him back. It just keeps highlighting though. It does just keep highlighting just how crap our forward line is though, and why it needs changing. Not bring Rashford back again. The solution is not bring him back. The solution is wipe out what we've got because it's finished for so many reasons for Rashford at our place. If he comes back, you just get sucked into the same negativity. He won't run. He ain't going to play like that at Villa. So I leave that alone. But seeing him score again and seeing him just run in and this, that, and the other, you just go, look at our forwards, man. Just look. He's still got one of the highest contributions. It's in our season already. He's got 7 goals for us this year. You know what I mean? So and now he's back in the goals, and he's a confidence player. So it wouldn't surprise me now if he goes on a run till now to the end of the season. A couple of months, Rashi. We've seen that before, haven't we?
Yeah, well, and also this is an interesting one. The better he does, obviously, I know that Villa have the option, but it's just that an option. I don't think it's a guarantee. Ross said that Rashford does have to go in the summer. I don't think it's guaranteed that he ends up going to Villa. I think
it's not a guarantee.
Given how he's playing, and given that it's a summer window, the deals are difficult to do in January. But given it's a summer window, maybe he does get that move that he's looking for. To abroad. I don't know. Maybe Barcelona do take a gamble. I don't know. But
it increases the chances of people coming in for him because it's not January as well where people strap for cash. People can make bigger things happen if they move players on. January, the summer's an easier time to do big transfers. So that alone, there'll be more people looking because he's available. And secondly, like you said, he starts playing good. He starts doing good stuff. You go, okay, he's back. He's back. Yeah. Like he's ready to rock. He's got his head screwed back on again. He's ready to leave Man United. There's a big opportunity there for us to get him. And then that's where people like Barca or whoever can be like, tell you what, let's just try and make it happen. Terence Pace says Sancho, Rashford, Lindelof, Shaw, Malacia. I forgot about Malacia. A couple of them are quite obvious. Side note, what the hell was VAR? What the F was VAR doing last night? McAllister and Ramsey fouls. I
didn't see the Ramsey one. I saw the one in the Merseyside derby. Holy
Tarkowski.
Shit! Oh my God! I cannot believe
it's got to be a red.
That doesn't look that. And that was one of those ones where it was like you've got multiple looks at that, and for all of that sort of the not bad tackles that end up in red cards because of the freeze frames and because of all that kind of stuff. That is mad. That is a tackle that was like fully, 20 years old or something like that.
He got, as people say, he got the ball. It was yellow. He did get the ball. Clearly, clean, but you can't, if your follow through is that high, that could cause that much damage when you got the chance to look back at it. That one is a red. Not all tackles where you follow through are reds. I don't agree with that. But there's ones where this is what VAR's for. let's have a look back at that. And when you just see how high it was, it's a red, man. Show says you lot are soft. Game's gone. Perfect tackle, says Kristen. I don't know. I feel like you lot are saying this because it's Liverpool and you just wanted McAllister to get clamped. But if that happened, if someone followed through on one of our players, if we get to Sunday, right, and Gavardio goes sliding in like that on flipping, I don't care who it's on. He does that to one of our players. We are all asking for a red card. I don't think many of us are saying, "Oh, it's the derby. Come on, just get up. Just get up, Bruno. It's just a derby. Just legs doesn't be snapped off, mate."
Or if, like, say, if Ugarte did that on Phil Foden, we'd be looking at that going, "Oh shit, he's gonna get sent off." You know what I mean? He's gonna.
Well, look at the Dorgu one, which is why that Dorgu one on Hutchison is exactly the same. Probably this one's worse. It's higher.
Yeah, this one's worse.
It's with more force. This one's worse.
Yeah.
But Dorgu's one, you could say he actually doesn't get any of the ball, so that makes it worse for a different way. But in terms of being more dangerous, and even the Dorgu one, we looked at and went, "I'll tell you, that's dangerous. He could have hurt Hutchinson there."
Yeah.
This one is even probably more dangerous, and he got sent off straight, and we went, "Can't really argue with that." So if you lot and the same people that were saying this is a fine tackle, I guarantee you lot weren't defending Dorgu when he got the red.
Well, and also as well, the referee missed that one. That was a VAR one, wasn't it? With
Dorgu didn't win the ball in that tackle. I don't think he did.
Yeah, but this always happens, isn't it? Whenever there's like a red card, it's like, "Oh no, it wasn't." And like you said, if it's the other way around, if someone had done that onto Dorgu, it'd be like, it was a red card. It was a red 100%. Card. They both should have been red cards. I cannot believe that didn't give. Even they went to Duncan Ferguson at halftime in the studio on Sky, and obviously big Everton legend, straight away went, "Yes, red card." Duncan Ferguson's going, "Yes, leg breaker." Do you know how many times this guy's been sent off in his career?
Dorgu did not get the ball, bro. Sorry, sorry, it's the most Stonewall red. Sorry, I forgot. Sorry though. He did get a bit of the ball, but more Imran, chill, bro. He nearly slapped man's leg in half, bro. Just chill. But nah, listen, Kristen saying, "Nah, I grew up with heavy tackles. Get up and play on." Listen, McAllister did get up and play on. It doesn't mean it's not reckless or dangerous. Even Mike Dean was going mad. Mike Dean was going mad in the Soccer Saturday.
Yeah.
In the Soccer Studio thing. He is going, "It's reckless. I cannot," he was going in. Even Mike Dean was like, "Jesus, we've got to stamp ones like that out."
Yeah, he's going to right. Breaker.
Yeah,
Mike Dean's got a big like Santa beard now as well.
Yeah, he's got a big beard going on. Shout out Mike Dean, changing the perception, and also change the perception of himself, because it's all about him. He's just blending now, and the Ramsey one, the Jacob Ramsey one, he twisted up the defender. It was a definite pen, and it just didn't get it as well. It was ridiculous.
I didn't see that.
And he didn't get a yellow card for diving either. So what are you doing? Like, it definitely wasn't a goal kick. Like, it's either a foul or you're saying he just dived. Super Arch says, "I think Ineos started the beef, by the way, with Rashi and Amorim. I refuse to believe he wasn't practicing and not training. Rashi is one of the more fit players." That's interesting. And All Elite says, "Real talk, who's going to buy Rashford in the summer?" Yeah, we're going to move on from Rashford in a second, but just before we do, who's going to be there for him? Who's going to be there? Might be some teams we didn't think of.
Yeah, and it depends what happens with Villa this season, doesn't it? Depends what happens with Villa, let's say they do win an FA Cup. Let's say they do get to a Champions League semi-final or what have you. And, also as well, this is the other part of it I think that must be considered with Rashford is, so, okay, it could be a case of when he is in training, he does train well, or when he is on the pitch, he is doing, we've seen him walking around on the pitch, but the other things, according to the reports, were suggestions of Rashford's behaviour outside of Carrington that were filtering back in to Ruben Amorim, and he was asking Rashford, "Is this true?" And by all accounts, like Rashford was denying that was the case, blah, 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 like, "Oh, were you lot out the night before the Manchester derby or something like that?" "Oh, no. And so clearly there's a communication issue there as well. I think when people hear like, "Oh, he's not happy with training," the assumption is what? So they're doing rondos and he's just kind of like, "Can't be bothered." I think their concern is that he is there, but going, why are we hearing stuff like about the night before? Like,
was he living his life right in there, which is why he needs that set away from there to fresh start, which is why he's doing better.
Exactly.
Clear his head,
Exactly.
get away from whatever he was doing, and lock back in and reignite his career.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I agree.
And just very quickly, just to show actually, Flex, because we want to show evidence here. This is the proof of Dorgu getting the ball in his red card tackle right there. Got the ball.
Mad.
Got a bit of the ball.
Yeah, because after he did this bit, his left knee comes back through and kicks the ball. So he did get a bit of the ball, Imran. There you go. But the first contact, don't worry about that bit. Obviously, the left knee comes through afterwards, and then he gets the ball, gets a bit of the ball afterwards. So, yeah, it probably shouldn't have been a red, should it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Madness. Yeah. Absolute madness. Right, I agree on the Rashford one.
Do you want to do number 2 first?
I'll do number 2 first. It's another obvious one, so we just get the 2 obvious ones out the way, so they're just done and dusted. It's obviously Jadon Sancho.
You're having Sancho on the list?
Yeah, is that too obvious?
He's not on my list. I mean, I think he's going to go in this. Well, I hope he goes in the summer. He needs to go in the summer, but he's not on
okay. I think. Do you know what? I think because they're too, like, it's going to happen.
Obligation, mate.
It might not be Chelsea though, mate. All right, we'll leave him off. I'm going to say we have to sell Luke Shaw. He's got to go. Okay. He's got to go, blood. Yeah. He's got to go. He's got to go, blood.
He's got to go, blood. He's got to go.
He's got to go. He's got to go, blood. Like but the problem is having him on this list is we can't get rid of him.
Well, yeah.
Innit? Really?
Yeah.
Nobody will want to buy him. You're right, MWK. Do you know what? I'm going to take him off because I don't think he's sellable. sellable. He's not sellable, bro.
But what? Not. Yeah, but we're not saying sold. We're saying must leave. Could he leave somehow? Well, rip a contract, or maybe he just goes, I don't want to play football anymore.
Oh man, no, he's too strong. He's just gonna stay. He just won't go nowhere, man. I've got no faith. No, I'm taking him off. Because I don't. There's no faith, and I want to make this all interesting. Luke Shaw's too, because he's just not gonna go nowhere.
No, he's not.
He's not.
I mean, he's not going to go anywhere. I mean, I know, like, the other day when we were doing the game and we were talking about substitutions, and we're like, who'd you bring on? And I said Mason Mount, and KG went, yeah, but he'll get injured. And I was like, well, what's the point of then having him? With Luke Shaw, I mean, even like the sort of weird misinformation that comes back about his return is so bizarre, isn't it? Because it's like, oh, he's back in training now, and then it comes out, well, he's kind of not back in training. No, he's in Dubai at the moment doing warm weather training. He's going to be back on the grass soon. And it's like...
They're basically telling us he's had a setback, but don't want to say it.
Yeah, and also, remember, shout out United Menace. Remember he was like, oh, he's had a setback. And they were like, no, he hasn't had a setback. He's missing training on Monday, but he hasn't had a setback. We heard like piss all about him for like 3 or 4 weeks after that. This guy this season has played how many times has he even started a match?
I don't know.
He hasn't played.
No, he played a couple minutes for a couple games for Ruben.
That's it. That is all he's done this season. So for well over now a calendar year, because it was around February 2024 when those games against Villa and Luton, when he got injured the first time, when he was like, he's injured and then he's starting the next game. And that's weird. And then he limped off against Luton. We never saw him again to the summer. He barely has played for Manchester United in over 12 months with injuries that we can't really describe. No. Like, what are the
muscular things?
It was a hamstring, calf.
And now he's been so far off the boil as well and hasn't played in the team so much, right? That Ruben probably shouldn't even really risk it. Like, what's the point? Like, you can't build him up. You can't. No. He can't grasp what we're trying to do. He hasn't played. He hasn't been part of it. He's so out of sync. He's better off just training with us. Just keep training. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know. Like, obviously, yeah, you could bring him on left centre back for like last 10 minutes of a game or some shit like that. But even that for him, how does that help him? Like that going from not playing to just playing 10 minutes and not playing, like it's not even going to help him. He has to play games, but what's the point?
This season, he has played 98 minutes of football across 3 games. And there were 3 substitute appearances.
Yeah, no, man. That's just crazy. Was one of them against Ipswich in the first game?
he played 34 minutes against Ipswich, 34 minutes against Everton, and
Did he? I don't remember that.
And when he played in Europa, he played 30 minutes against Bodo Glimt.
Wow, I don't remember at all. I don't even remember seeing him in those
games. That is all he's done.
Did he play good in them games? Did we got tell you what, left centre back, he's all right. I can't even remember. Yeah. Well, there you go. That's what I'm saying. So Luke Shaw's definitely on there, but it's like, he's got to be on there. He's got to be on there. We got to. He's so like he has to leave. He's got to be on there. Luke Shaw. I'm putting Luke Shaw. And
look at these like injuries over the last couple of years. Muscle injury, missed 22 games. Thigh problems, missed 4 games. Muscle injury, missed 22 games. Knee injury, missed 16 games. Calf injury, missed 20 games. Muscle injury, missed 34 games. This is the longest out of all of them. This one here, it's reached an apex. Like ever since, actually, let's have a look, because this is on multiple pages, folks. When it comes to Luke Shaw, I've got to go to the next page. So obviously, when he broke his leg, he missed 64 games. He had a foot injury in 17-18 that he missed 32. So this is really like the third longest period of time he's been out for muscle injury in his career.
That's what I mean, man. It's devastating stuff. Like, I ain't saying he wants to be injured, and people question. Listen,
the second longest amount of games he's missed in his entire career has been this one. Spell.
See, so this is like one of the worst ones he's had in his.
And we always say, don't we, sort of take out the leg break. That wasn't his fault. All that kind of stuff. So you're really you're actually saying, in terms of like physically, this is his worst period of fitness in his career.
Yeah,
now
100%. He's on the list. That's number 2. Sorry, it's so bad that I know I was backtracking a bit of like, I don't think we're going to sell him though, because he just went, you have to find a way. If it's like, listen, Luke, politely, sorry, I'm gonna have to send you on loan somewhere. So you just got to be out of here. You can't, because it's true. They're signing him up or keeping him to basically say, we believe in you. There's no belief anymore. There's not going to be this conversation of, to sit you down, Luke, I really believe that. And this is like, I don't want this to happen. This is the truth. We really believe that you can get back to your best. And, even he probably, there's got to be a bit of an understanding that, like, as part of this, like, you've got to probably go somewhere and try and play some football, mate. Like, we can't rely on you. We're look at the spot we're in. Look at how bad we are. We can't have players that we can't rely on. We can't, Luke. We've stood by you. We've given you everything. We've, more than most. You need to get your agent and look for some football. Start the conversation like that, because I get it. There's not going to be loads of takers to take Luke Shaw permanently. But as we say at United, you have to initiate the process, right? Getting them a loan first, get them a season-long loan with an option, or just let's start seeing the exit route, because right now we're just seeing him drain resources. We're just seeing him. We're just keeping blind faith that he's going to come back and be fit for any period of time and be able to play football for us again. And I just cannot see it happen.
I can't believe he still plays international football as well. Like sometimes with these kind of players. Yeah, like sometimes these players, they go, right, well, I've got to retire now because
focus on club if I want to
focus on club because my body's breaking down. You know what? I wouldn't even put it past Luke Shaw. Yeah, if this time next year we're talking about him going to the World Cup with England, go actually play some games. He's
been at Inter. He's played at Inter this year. He's doing well.
Not even at Inter. Like suddenly he might be a bit more available for United next season, and then you're going.
I'm going to do a U. Owen,
go to the World Cup.
Owen, I'm doing a U. Like when I try and say like, I could get back a bit, play a bit.
No, I'm not saying this would be good for United. I'm saying that.
No, he won't stay fit. I'm saying he won't stay fit enough long enough for that to happen. Nope.
Even if he doesn't stay fit all the way through the season, we'll get to around this time next year, towards the end of the season, Flex. Couple of months of football, and then he'd be like, well, who else have we got left back for England?
No, it's all right now. Lewis Hall, Lewis Skelly, and Livramento, if you really want to do that.
All I'm saying
we're
is,
all right. We don't need. No, he's done.
Thomas Tuchel was picking Jordan Henderson.
He'll pick Ben Chilwell over him if he has a good season. He's playing again at Palace.
Oh, he's playing for Palace, isn't he?
Yeah. So I trust me. Shaw's done, bro. Shaw's done.
He's got to go, blood. He's got to go.
He's got to go, bro. He's got to go. 100%. That's number 2. Before we move on to excuse me. Before we move on to number 3, we got 200 likes, pretty much 196. We nearly got 800 people watching. We're on our way to 1,000 as well. Let's get 1,000 people watching live. Smash a like on the video. Get sharing. Put the video in your group chat, share it on your socials that we are live. Let people know we are live. Let's push to over 1,000 people watching. That would be great as well. Share it in your WhatsApp groups too. And let's get to the 300 likes mark as well. We've got 207 now, so we're doing all right. But I'm going to keep on it so that we don't forget. Player number 3, Owen.
Well, I didn't. Oh, Shaw's not on my list, so I can give you player number 2.
Yeah, give me player number 2 for you.
Andre Onana.
He's on my list, yeah.
Andre Onana. He's got to go, blood. He's got to go.
Sure.
Because I know that whenever we talk about Andre Onana, get accused of you're being harsh, you're singling him out. It was his birthday yesterday. So you had to be nice to him yesterday because he was 29.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, same age as me. Jesus. I'm older. I'm older than Andre Onana.
Look at that.
Lord. Part of you'd never think that, like looking at both of us, would you? Although I said this the other day, and people were like, "Oh, we thought you were way older than how old you are." So that's not ideal. But as I've just had a bit of a crisis in confidence, Andre Onana's got to go because it's just not good enough, is he? He is not good enough. We thought we were getting something else. We thought we were getting Champions League final Onana. We got catfished. We thought we were getting, a version of Edison at City, whereby we're going to be playing this, amazing passing out from the back, press resistant Pep after the Champions League final. We just couldn't press him. It just impossible. Impossible, more than you can believe. It was impossible. We couldn't press him. We thought we're getting that. He's going to be spraying the ball around, playing out from the back under Eric. This is going to be brilliant. Turns out the distribution thing's just a massive myth. It's just a big myth. He's comfortable receiving the ball from, passing it back from the centre backs, which De Gea wasn't. But a lot of his long passes just goes long a lot of the time, and they just go out for play or go straight down the pitch. And then from a goalkeeping point of view, fundamental goalkeeping point of view, there are so many goalkeepers in the Premier League right now that are better than Andre Onana. So many. In fact, our position in the league probably represents how good he is in terms of, we're 13th in the league. He's probably like the 13th best goalkeeper in the Prem, maybe less, in terms of fundamentals. When he makes a save, we're kind of surprised. When that save that was offside, the header, we all went, oh, bloody hell. And then, actually turned to find out it's a comfortable save that he should make. Near enough, most goals we look at go, could he do a bit better? Could he dive over? His position's a bit off there. Oh, I'm not sure about that.
There's always a question mark.
He's always got mistakes in him. There are just fundamentally so many better goalkeepers than him. And actually, when we've got big games coming up, it's something that's in the back of your mind of going, is today going to be a day that he makes another mistake? We won an FA Cup final despite a mistake that he made. That goal we conceded, he fumbled it in the back of the net. Did make some good saves in the final, but that's Onana. He'll make some good saves that you think he's better, and then he'll make a mistake. It's coming. There will be another one before the season ends. There will be another Onana mistake before the season ends. And that's not even like, oh, you're being harsh and no, that will happen. Fact. Guaranteed. 100%. There will be another Onana mistake because there always is.
There always is. Even like I said, even when he does something good, he's still done something bad. And it's a very unique skill set to have. Mark Harris says, let's focus on Amorim being the worst ever manager. Strong words from Mark there. I don't agree with that. Super Arch says, any other player did this, what Shaw done, the media goes nuts. And Jason says, might not be popular, but Garnacho should be on that list. Well, the list is not complete, my friend.
It's not complete, mate.
The list is not complete. We are on player 2/3 at the moment. So Jason, it could be popular with a lot. That could take, and it could be unpopular with a lot. So yeah, we will get there, bro. 100%. Onana is on my list next as the third player. For all the reasons of what you just said, Owen. I just think we have to be real with ourselves, don't we? Like, he's just never going to be good enough. And when you look at the succession of legit number ones that we've had, of course, we've been blessed with Schmeichel to Van der Sar to De Gea. We've been really, really blessed with like longevity number ones. I know Barthez was a bit of a crazy one, and then we had a bit of a period where there was a few just kind of filling in. But certified number ones, like you said, De Gea's only just left recently. Before that, the certified number one was Van der Sar, and before that, like you say, it was Schmeichel with a little bit in between. So, out of number ones certified that you go and get to say be our number one, he's the worst. Obviously, he's the worst we've had. And then even going into the territory of the keepers that we've had, he starts entering that conversation, even though there's been some bad ones. I mean, look, Sergio Romero's better than him. Definitely.
Yeah.
Sergio Romero's definitely better than him. 1,000,000%. I would argue, listen, we said a lot about Dean Henderson. I'm not saying I'm not saying the right thing to do is to replace De Gea with Dean Henderson. But
I'd be more comfortable having him in goal.
I'd be more comfortable with Dean Henderson in goal, if I'm being honest. I know that nothing crazy is going to happen. I know he let in a silly goal yesterday, actually, to be fair to him. But keepers do that. But by and large, you don't, when Dean Henderson's about to start playing, you don't go, I hope he just doesn't have a clan. It doesn't exist. It's just maybe he's not as good as he thought he was or thinks he is. And that TalkSport interview rubbed us up the wrong way. But I would say he's better than him. Who else has been better than him? He's Ben Foster. When Ben Foster was like our keeper and just as a goalkeeper, is he better than Andre Onana?
He struggled overall. I remember it was Manchester Derby he played, and Craig Bellamy just like went round him. He didn't have a great one. But if you want to talk about backup goal, I'd have Thomas Kuszczak in goal than Andre Onana. He was better number 2. Hey, he made some saves. Thomas Kuszczak.
Tim Howard, was he better than Onana?
The thing is, Howard wasn't at Man United that long. He was at like a year, wasn't he, or 2 years, and then he was out pretty quick. And I always think of Tim Howard of that when we played Porto in the Champions League. When they scored that last minute goal, and he's sort of running into. And he ran
into it.
Yeah.
Tim Howard at Everton, yes, better than him.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying.
And but United,
it wasn't here long. Taibbi, that's what I'm saying. So Roy Carroll, these types of joke guys. This is what I'm saying. You start to get into a thing of the company starts keeping when you discuss him is way off the Man United number one, which is what you mean.
We had a period of time, when De Gea was the keeper, where we had some unbelievable number 2s as well. Like you said, we got Romero. We had a period of time where we had Victor Valdez was our backup goalkeeper. He never played, and that was such a weird one because it was like, well, I think you know what I mean. If that's not bad number 2,
he wants to come. I know you had an amazing career at Barca,
funny how. It's crazy. But we need a new keeper, 100%. And actually, with the way that we play now, I don't know, there's as much an emphasis on you've got to be amazing with your feet. I think you just got to be competent. No. Because we're actually, obviously, I know we have a lot of possession and playing out from the back, but a lot of the time it's just sort of forward passes or just being comfortable. So I don't think they need to necessarily be a specialist, in terms of distribution. I think, again, they just need to be competent. I think the emphasis needs to go back on just shot stopping. How good your shot stopping? Keep the ball out the back of the net.
Fundamentals. I think the rest of it can be taught a little bit as long as you're semi-comfortable with taking a touch. And, obviously there can be top level distribution, really good distributors like Alisson, Ederson, Raya. They're really good with their feet. Even for Bruggen's quite good. But there's also when you can just be of a competent enough level, the way we move the ball and the options you'll have will make it that it's not that difficult for you. You don't need to ping 40-yard, 50, 60-yard passes to people's chests and shit. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just asking you to take a touch and keep the ball moving and play a little bit of a higher line and
someone
be off the line.
Courtois, he's not the most amazing distributor of his feet or anything.
But it's enough.
He's competent, but he's an unbelievable shot stopper.
Yeah, exactly. I'd much rather have that than all of this bollocks of, great with your feet. And that's why De Gea, like you say, it was such a downgrade. Because apparently De Gea, can't do anything with his feet. But if we're being honest, he's just still a million miles better than Onana, even now. So, there you go. We've read that one already. Right, so Onana is So you've gone him for him as your second. He would have been my third.
Yeah.
So who's your third then?
My third is Casemiro. He must leave in the summer. I suppose a bit like your Luke Shaw one. He's more likely to leave than Luke Shaw. He's more likely.
Oh, definitely more likely.
But I think this one is still quite unlikely because there's no incentive for him to leave. You know what I mean? And he's the highest paid player at Manchester United right now. Is it 350 a week, something like that? Huge amount, 300. Obviously, as time goes on, his transfer to United ages like milk in the Sahara Desert, in the sense that, what was it, 70 million? 4-year contract, 3+1 year contract. Yep. It was desperate. We'd had a bad start to the season
5-year
under Eric. I don't even know. We had a bad start season.
We got him in 22.
So how long's he got left?
4 year, but probably with an option.
Yeah,
his contract's up in 26, June 26.
So we, got we panicked. I think it was like second or third highest fee paid for a player over 30 at the time. And look, we saw him on Tuesday and recently under Ruben. He's done okay.
Done okay. Literally
because
done okay.
Because that's what
that's what he is now.
When we talk about Casemiro, there's a bit of hyperbole about him. He can't even walk. He can't even run. He can, but he's not Casemiro like he was at Real Madrid. In the Premier League, when the intensity is really, really high, he doesn't have that, and he's certainly not. We're not getting value for money, are we? There, we're not getting value for money from Casemiro, and if we were able to free that up, we'd have a lot of extra wage to go around. So he needs to go, but
got to go, blood.
He's got to go, blood. But I think that I just don't mind. Every transfer window you get that. All right, Saudi are interested. Saudi are interested. They're not.
This is where in our window we have to see how aggressive and creative they are in trying to force the issue with some of these and make it like, listen, you're not playing, you're not staying. Like, your future really isn't here. What are those comments? I know you can say, yeah, fine, I'll wait for you to get injuries. I'll make it difficult for you to sit on my money, mate. Fine. You can always do that. I get that. But there's ways to, someone said if they pay him, a percentage of the transfer fee, he'll leave. He said, listen, we'll pay you up. We'll give you what you owed. You might have to start doing shit like that, because players are going to say, well, where's my contract? I mean, if you say no, even if it's go for 10 million, 15 million or something like that, 20 million, I don't know. Like, we'll give you 8 million of that. We'll pay you off. Like, that, we're not going to leave you like hanging dry. But there's no future for you here. Like, they got to start getting creative with this shit, man. I'm sick and tired of like seeing these players just have the ultimate power. And I get it. They have it because we gave them contracts. But you can still make it a bit uncomfortable. You can still, or not even uncomfortable. You can do it if you've got the good enough skills set to convince and to show, like, listen, thank you for your services. It's been fine. We are going to help you, not help you look for a club, but look at offers and try and get the right one for you and for us and want it to go see. You don't have to be aggressive and just piss them off where they go, no, I'm just staying. Like, if you got the negotiation skills, like, we're saying Omar Barada should have, like Jason Wilcott should have, like Christian Favell should have, find, imaginative, effective ways to either get into the player's head, present to the player's camp, or be stern. You choose, pick your poison. I don't care. It's your job. The same way you lot were creative with cutting back the sandwiches and flipping fruit, be that creative with the squad. I know ultimately the players have the biggest say, because no matter what you say, they can always just say, don't care, my ears are closed, I'll sit and rot on the bench. They can always say that. I get it. But be creative. Other teams do it all the time. And I'm fed up that we never do it. Again, Casemiro's on my list as well. I feel like, there's not really much more to say on Casemiro. Everything you said is true. Here's the interesting one now, yeah? Because we need money. We need it. We need money. Yeah. There's some sort of reluctant ways that I've been thinking, because we need money, and I'm trying to work out, again, pick your poison, Like,
and you're limited to 5. When you're limited to 5, it's actually quite tough.
I'm limited to 5. So I've got 3 now. So I've got 2 more. And we need some serious money. So I am looking towards like this area of discussion of Rasmus, Garnacho, Kobe, Zirkzee. I'm in that cluster of.
Well, who's your next person? Who's your next person? Don't preamble it, Flex. You see what he's doing here, folks. He's trying to sort of cover his bases here. Who is your next person?
My next person's Garnacho.
Why?
And I'm still. I'll be honest, Owen. This video has probably come a little bit early for me. I'll be honest. So I'm still on my way to getting the stamp out and going, are you saying final answer? Who wants to be a millionaire vibe? This is
don't try and backtrack it.
No, I'm being serious. No, because I'm just talking about why I'm feeling like that. Why that's controversial. Listen, Sha, I know some people just say this with ease. He's got to go. He's rubbish. I'm just thinking I don't think he's total crap. That's the first thing. I don't think he's totally crap. I just think for the numbers that are being tipped for what we can get for him versus what we could buy with that, I think you could buy a better player than Garnacho is currently. And you could potentially, I think we could buy, if the scouting's right, I think we can buy a better player for the future as well than Garnacho. I think if you're getting 50 million type money for Garnacho in this squad as well, he's not the right profile. I'm having that because of the thing you say as well, Owen, about how much of that can actually go back into the squad. If someone's offering 50 plus for Garnacho and we're saying we ain't got money to pay the staff, you have to start making some of these tough decisions. I'd rather keep Kobe. And when I look at Hojlund, if he goes, fine, but I just think the money we could fetch for him is not as much because we paid like 70 odd and like he's gone down to like what, 35, 30. But I would listen, I've still got another space, so I'm going to say Garnacho.
Well, Garnacho was initially on my list and I took him off.
Ooh,
and I took him off.
You backtracked?
No, because I was thinking about 7 people that there was one name that I felt had to go more, and that's going to be my final name. It's not this name. My next name, you mentioned it there, is Rasmus Hojlund. For me, Rasmus Hojlund needs to leave Manchester United in the summer. I think that this is a very expensive experiment that hasn't worked. It's not necessarily his fault in terms of the price. It is one of the last remnants of Murto madness. The second summer under Erik ten Hag is one of the worst transfer windows ever. Andre Onana, Mason Mount, Rasmus Hojlund, and Johnny Evans. And Johnny Evans was the best signing out of all of them. And to fund getting a striker this summer, I would suggest we get rid of one of the strikers that we've got, and we've only got one. We've only got Rasmus. I'm not even including Joshua Zirkzee as a striker. None of this 9.5 bullshit. He's a number 10. His best performances for Manchester United have been in the number 10. Effectively now, he's starting, like on Tuesday, he's starting over Rasmus Hojlund in the striker position because Ruben Amorim's going, I need a striker that can actually hold up the ball, take a touch, and it's not just going to bounce off and he's not just going to have a wrestle.
Hojlund came on, but he can, he can look after it.
Well, neither will Hojlund.
Exactly.
Hojlund will come on, have a bit of a wrestle, and for all of this, doesn't get many chances. I know that you talk about the stats, but then when he does get some chances, he still doesn't really take them. He still misses them too. It's unfortunate for him because I think he's gone to the step up too early in his career. He would have been better off having a year, 2 years extra in Italy, playing for Atalanta. So I think he needs to go back there, go where, as Ruben has mentioned, where the spotlight isn't as big, where the pressure isn't as big. Because unfortunately, if you're a striker for Manchester United, the expectation is goals. And the expectation is you're not going to get a lot of time to develop. Now, he could get more time to develop if he wasn't the starting striker, but he is. That's the situation that he's found himself in. He's had to find, he's in a sink or swim situation, and he's barely just got his armbands off. You know what I mean? So he's just above water, and sometimes he's going under. So I think the best thing for him and United is that he would be sold in the summer. Man United will get nowhere near the money that they paid for him, but it's one of those write-offs. You just got to know when to cut bait. You might maybe get 40 million. maybe. Rasmus
At
Hojlund,
best.
maybe something like that. At best.
At best. I'd
At
probably
best,
not even that, I don't think.
maybe it's a loan with an obligation to buy, an option to buy. Perhaps if he's going back to Europe. So I think United must.
But here says there, but Owen, if we get Osimhen or even Mateta, who will be the second striker? Obi's too young for such kind of pressure, and Zirkzee's not a striker.
Well, this is maybe when we get into the territory of, like Flex is mentioning, if Garnacho does go, maybe we sign a couple of strikers in the summer. Maybe we spend 40 million on Mateta, and then maybe there is a swap deal for. And I think people are confused by this sort of swap thing when they're saying about Garnacho and Osimhen or whatever. It could be like a swap deal doesn't necessarily just have to be no money changes hands. As we've seen, a lot of Premier League clubs effectively did swaps over last summer, but they gave each other money that was just enough to help them pass PSR. So, like, Elliot Anderson going to Forest from Newcastle, and then Newcastle bought a goalkeeper from Forest for like £40 million. It was a swap deal, but that was a swap deal to appease the PSR books. They're loophole deals.
Yeah.
So
a lot of loopholes, And look at that. Elliot Anderson goes there from his own club, his Boyer club, and flipping, he's bloody third in the league. Mad, he's had a great season. And that is the reason why, for me, again, the way that football's set up, you was talking about it yesterday, like it incentivizes this PSR thing, and we're making more of a habit of doing it. We did it last year with McTominay and Greenwood to raise significant cash. That's 2 academy products. This year, it's going to be Marcus Rashford, and I think one other. This Kobe and Garnacho thing's not going away. I think one of them's going to leave. I think it's going to be Garnacho. I just got a feeling. I really, really do have a feeling. The way how Napoli and Chelsea, the discussions were there, it was a really, really strong set of negotiations that were happening. It just didn't materialize. The way Ruben was speaking in the window, it was so uncertain. He definitely could have left. And for me, I think that picks up again in the summer. Even like someone like Atleti, 100%, more people will come in. I just think something will happen there. And for me, to be able to fund the rest of what we need, like someone said there, like I said, we need another striker. What about this? What about that? That's why someone significant out of the academy has to go. And I just think it will be Garnacho, because otherwise, how are we gonna, like you said, if we get an Osimhen, what we're gonna do? We still need to redo the squad as well. The other player for me was Rasmus Hojlund.
Your final player was Rasmus
Hojlund. Was Rasmus Hojlund, man. Just not good enough. Just not good enough. And again, we need to bring in the Osimhen situation. Go and get him. I've had enough. Just go and get a proper striker. None of this sit and wait project striker bullshit. Just go and get players who are good enough. The profile of them. Just get the players in who can do the job. Or basically look better than Rasmus. I'm sorry. It's just not good enough. There's not enough improvement in a couple of years. I know there's always an argument against of like, you just got to give him time, look how shit the team is. And I get all that, but I'm just going off my vibe. And I agree with everything you said about him, Owen, that he's come at a difficult time. He's probably come too early in his career. Not his fault. Of course, he supports Man United. If Man United come in for you and really want you and show that they're willing to pay £70 million with the add-ons, of course you're gonna go. You're not gonna not back yourself. But I just think between him and Zirkzee, I don't really mind which one. Ideally, I would want this list to go to 6. I'd say really you just clear out that 3 that would play in. When I see Zirkzee, Hojlund, Garnacho, I'm just like all 3 of that has to leave.
Yeah, really. Well, you're saying rip it up, wouldn't you? You're saying rip it up.
Do you know what I mean? Like you just need a total different 3. That ain't gonna hurt teams. It'll hurt them at odd time. Garnacho on the counter, yeah, cool. Like, but it ain't it. It's not it, and we're kidding ourselves by thinking it's going to be. Zirkzee's not a creator and he's not a scorer. He's got a nice touch. I like how he's improved, so I back him, but I don't back him enough to be like the future of like something potent. I don't. I just think he'd just be a bit part player who has a nice touch. You can get a little nutmeg, do a bit, but it's not what we need in our forward line. Our forward line has been reduced by our formation, right? So the 3 straight attackers have to be really potent, because even our wing backs, Dorgu, we've got to wait for him to be an attacking output. Dallo, we don't even know. Like, we're like, I don't think he's ever going to be that. We need to go and get a right wing back. Is that going to be Ahmad? You know, in the long run, don't know. So them 3 players who play in them 3 positions at the top end of the pitch, they need to be way better for me than Rasmus Hojlund, Zirkzee, and Garnacho. So yeah, I'd have Hojlund or Zirkzee. I don't care which one.
Don't care.
Both,
interesting.
really.
The PGMOL have acknowledged that James Tarkowski should have been sent off last night because it was a red card. My final player, Flex. My final player on this list. He's got to go, blood. He's got to go. It is Mason Mount. Mason Mount must be sold this summer. He must leave Manchester United this summer. It's just been a flop, isn't it? I mean, I was saying that last season. I was going, well, you know, one more injury away. Well, he's been most of the season injured. KG's scared to take him off the bench in case, you know, he turns to dust if he gets touched. I mean, I legitimately in the last few minutes of the game against Forest, he was in the box and someone did a bit of a crunch and tackling on him. And the first worry is he going to get up? Like, is he going to like this? Is this going to be a problem? It's not worked out. And again, one of the highest paid players at the club, 250K, number 7 shirt. I mean, again, you can bring it up. Yeah, yes, okay, I know. My dad's shirts are not going very well. You know, Casemiro, Mason Mount.
Long sleeve Casemiro as well.
Yeah, I know. And obviously, you know, Martinez, Rashford. Yes, okay, I get it. Not
it's
ideal.
A bad run. It's a
one's
real
not here anymore. The other one's
run.
This season, Zirkzee, Cobby. It's not. Yeah, I know. It's not been ideal. Look, it's not been ideal. But the best thing we can do is get rid of Mason Mount and stop my dad buying shirts. And I will try.
We're trying to tell him that for ages.
I know, but then a worry got into it of like, if he doesn't get a name, just the whole team just then get infected. So he's got to pick someone. So next season, I guess, he won't be here. The Luke Shaw shirt. What worse can happen? No, to him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just not worked out. It's not worked out. It was a strange transfer anyway. It felt like we as fans had to kind of sort of weirdly try and justify it when it happened. Of like, oh yeah, and he's got 1 year left in his contract, and it's 55 million plus 5. Okay, Chelsea kind of seen us coming, and that was pure profit. Look what they've been able to do with that. Like, it's just not. And he needs a fresh start for his career because he's not old. He's what, 25? 26, something. He's not old.
But that's where there's a bit of a hope. Like, could he put this behind him and just move forward? But
physically,
it's not. I mean, Narish says selling Hojlund and Mount is a loss in FFP calculations. It won't happen. Hojlund may be out on loan, but Mount will definitely be a squad player next season. And the reason why I didn't put Mount on is a little bit to do with that, and like how I think Ruben views him.
Have you still got your stocks in Mount coin? I believe you still had stocks in Mount coin. I mean, you invested your Kev coins in Mason Mount.
Yeah, but I told you remember when you asked me, Flex, when are you going to say like it's time? Like, when do you? And then it happened. And then I went, if he gets one more big injury, and that was like 2 injuries ago, I think.
Yeah, that was
I said it to you. I did. I gave up.
To be fair, I think you said on Tuesday you did say you said you regretted suspending your Kev coins.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I regret that. 100% regret that, because you know me, I tried to hold on for the longest. With Mason Mount, I did, because I do believe he's a decent player, but we just can't see it at all. Because
I remember we had heard towards the end of. It was last season. A bit of insider information here, folks. We had heard that effectively Ineos had just come in and they'd said to Mason Mount, look, just get yourself right for a big season next season. Get yourself fit. You know, nothing's going to happen with you over the summer. Don't worry about that. Just focus on getting fit. And the opposite has happened.
And the opposite's happened. But again, we can say that, Again, we don't go on Twitter and say, it's not really our style. But because we just brought it up as in natural discussion, we can say that's another reason, if I'm honest, of why he's not on my list, because I just know how highly regarded he is there. I know we all don't agree with that. We're saying, listen, but I just didn't think it was worth putting him on my list. I just he ain't going nowhere. Ruben really likes him. He hasn't had. I think they do stupidly or naively or whatever. They do believe that he can get fit and do it, and that is what he was told. He was told, listen, just get yourself fit. Don't worry about all this mess going on. Just you focus on you. We'll be patient with you. We haven't lost faith. They like him, man. They like him. He ain't going to go anywhere. And mine, I just tried to center my list more around like how we gonna. That's why I can actually have to be on there or one of those guys because we just have to get some money. Like we have to. There has to be a strong one on there. And 2 academy players gone last year. I just think it'll be another 2 this year as well. So all right then. So my list is Rashford, Shaw, Onana, Garnacho, Hojlund.
Yeah, and mine was Rashford, Onana, Casemiro, Mount, Hojlund.
I mean, the Casemiro one's a massive one. If I could adjust mine, will I take Shaw out for? Did you put Shaw on yours?
No, I didn't.
No.
I mean,
what? Because you just know that he has to go, blood. But it's like,
yeah,
because I was going to leave him off because I was like, he's just going to stink around like a bad smell. But I got angry and I was like, nah, I would probably swap Shaw for Casemiro because Casemiro can get us a bit of money, maybe. And Casemiro is the most expensive player at the club. But
yeah,
if I was going to change it, but I'm so annoyed on the Shaw thing. I'm like, find a way, rip it up, pay him off, do something. Get him on loan, then start the process. Yeah, I'm going to stick with Shaw because I'm just so.
And during the course of the show, I have like my list has changed during the show. Like at one point it did have at one point it did have Garnacho on. Who else did it have on there? Someone else, I can't remember who it was. I did have that them on there, but then I changed.
Oh yeah, we forgot
Anthony.
about
That was the other person. I had Anthony on the list, but I took him out for Casemiro. It's hard to do 5. Like those people.
It is hard because Anthony has to go.
Anthony has to go as well.
But he's probably in that like the Sancho. Like it's gonna probably happen.
Maybe I don't know. I had Rashford on mine.
Oh, yeah, true. Adam, he's number 1. Adam says, who's buying Mount and what fee are we expecting? And he's been inactive for 2 years, so even being able to find him a suitor is probably just going to be. But that's the thing with these lists, isn't it? It's like they've got to go, blood, versus like what's realistic. Like, okay, if we sit down and go, what's realistic this summer? The list is probably different for quite a few reasons. So
and that's part of the fun. Limiting it to 5. 5's hard. 5's difficult.
Yeah. Very hard. Very, very hard. Surprised not until like this. That's it. Yeah. Right, guys. Big show. Thanks for tuning in. Where did we get to likes wise? We got to 313. Well done. Well done. Can we get to 350 on the way out the door? I believe we can. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Later on today, What the Devil. I believe What the Devil. Check that out. That will be live this afternoon. So make sure you check that out as well. Tomorrow you're getting your Trinity as well as your morning show as well. So we will be with you then. Take care, guys. We're out of here. Peace. Didn't click the button. There it is. Wait a minute. Hold on. Peace.